Braxton was found unconscious after a suicide attempt. What was that moment like for you? Y'all being so close and living your life so publicly. What was that moment like for your family?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't. Oh, it's okay. I'm afraid of the reality. Oh my God, I'm afraid of the reality. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
So let's jump right into something that's been bubbling under the surface. Something involving Ashley Braxton, the niece of the famous Braxton sisters. Now, if you're familiar with the Braxton family, Tony, Tamar, Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, you know them as powerhouse women in entertainment. But Ashley, she's Micheal Braxton's daughter, and Micheal is the only brother in this otherwise all-female Braxton family. Here's what's interesting though, Micheal has always stayed in the shadows. While his sisters built massive careers in the spotlight, performing reality shows, the whole 9 yards, Micheal remained practically invisible to the public eye. And that raises a question, doesn't it? Why has he kept such a low profile? What's behind that choice to stay hidden? Now, some of you have been reaching out, sharing insights that got me thinking. You've pointed out that Tamar was mistreated. And when you go back and revisit her old interviews, when you really listen to what she's been saying all these years, patterns start to emerge. Details you might have missed the first time around suddenly click into place. What's particularly striking is the bond between Tamar and Ashley. These two women share something deeply personal and painful, similar experiences of mistreat. And when you look at their stories side by side, when you hear what they've each revealed about their lives, you start to see the same threads woven through both of their experiences, the same dynamics, the same family patterns play out across generations. So what's the link here? What connects these two stories of tragedy and survival? The common denominator appears to be Ashley's father, Micheal Braxton himself. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not here to make definitive accusations without concrete evidence. We don't have all the pieces of this puzzle yet, but when you look at the patterns of behavior, when you examine the family dynamics, when you listen carefully to what's been said by both Tamar and Ashley, it raises some very serious, very concerning questions that can't be ignored. Let's break this down carefully, piece by piece. Tamar has been remarkably brave in speaking about her experiences. She revealed that she was mistreated between the ages of 6 and 16. Think about that for a moment. 10 years. An entire decade of her childhood marked by tragedy and violation. 10 years of suffering in silence, of trying to make sense of something no child should ever have to endure. Now, here's where the timeline becomes particularly significant. There's roughly a 9-year age gap between Tamar and her brother Micheal. When Tamar was 6 and the mistreatment began, Micheal would have been around 15. By the time it ended, when she was 16, he would have been about 25. Let that sink in. And there's another crucial detail Tamar has shared. She was assaulted by 2 people in her household. Not 1, 2. 2 people who had access to her every day. People who should have been protecting her, not harming her. Through Ashley's own statements, we've learned disturbing things about Michael's behavior as a father. She described how he bullied her into remaining silent, pressured her, manipulated her, and demanded that family secrets remain locked away. He made it clear that protecting the family image was more important than her own well-being or truth. And that pattern of enforced silence, doesn't it make you wonder, if Micheal was this controlling with his own daughter, what else has he been hiding? What secrets has he worked so hard to bury? Why has he been so deliberately absent from public life? What is he avoiding? Watch Tamar's interviews with fresh eyes. Notice the way she talks about feeling abandoned by her family, how she describes being blamed instead of protected, how her pain was dismissed, minimized, swept under the rug as if it didn't matter.
Her manager, Vincent Herbert, ended, and she made the heartbreaking revelation that as a child, she was molested by multiple family members. As she tried to heal, Tamar rebounded with a new love, David Adefeso, and another show, Tamar Braxton, yet yelled.
And then there's Ashley. Her story unfolds in a hauntingly familiar way. Abandonment, blame, silence. Told that speaking the truth would make her the villain instead of the victim. It's the same pattern repeated, the same family dysfunction, playing out across 2 generations. Lives destroyed in its wake. Let's get specific about what Tamar has actually said. From age 6 to 16, she was molested. She carried this unbearable weight for years. And when she finally found the courage to speak about it publicly, including on shows like Iyanla Vanzant's Fix My Life, she felt betrayed all over again. She felt exploited. like her deepest tragedy was being used for entertainment and ratings rather than genuinely addressed for healing and justice. She used a very specific, deliberate term to describe what happened to her: mistreated. And if you look up that definition, you'll understand the full weight of what she's saying. This is mistreated that happens within the home, within the family structure itself, perpetrated by people who are supposed to be your caretakers and protectors. It's a violation not just of the body, but of the fundamental trust and safety that should exist within a family. Tamar has made one thing absolutely crystal clear: she does not trust her family. And honestly, when you understand what she's been through, when you see how they've responded to her pain, can you really blame her? The connections between what Tamar experienced and what Ashley is now revealing about Micheal create a picture that's deeply disturbing and impossible to ignore. Perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this entire situation is how Tamar's own sisters reacted when she finally spoke her truth. Instead of surrounding her with unconditional love and support, instead of saying, "We believe you, we're sorry, we should have protected you," they questioned her. They downplayed what she went through. They acted skeptical, like maybe she was misremembering, maybe she was exaggerating, maybe it wasn't really as bad as she was claiming. Can you imagine surviving a decade of mistreat, carrying that tragedy through your entire adult life, watching it affect your relationships, your mental health, your ability to trust anyone, finally finding the strength to speak up, to say, "This happened to me," only to have your own sisters, the people who should know you best, who should stand beside you no matter what, make you feel like maybe your tragedy doesn't even matter, like maybe you're the problem for bringing it up. And Ashley has experienced this exact same painful dynamic, the same pattern of family disbelief, the same minimizing of her experiences, the same pressure to protect the family's reputation at the expense of her own healing and truth. So we're left with this uncomfortable, unavoidable question. If it wasn't Micheal, then who was it? Who were these two people in Tamar's household who mistreated her for 10 years? Tamar has indicated there were multiple perpetrators. She's been clear about that this wasn't just one person, but when you look at the timeline of when the mistreat occurred, when you examine the family structure and who had access to her, when you see the patterns of control and enforced silence that seem to surround Micheal specifically, it becomes very difficult not to wonder if her brother was one of the mistreaters. We may never know the complete truth. Some things stay buried in families like this, protected by layers of denial, shame, and the desperate desire to maintain a certain public image. But here's the thing about patterns: they don't lie. Behavior reveals itself over time, no matter how carefully people try to hide it. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this breakdown made you see something you hadn't considered before, if it connected dots you didn't know were there, hit that like button and share this video. These stories need to be heard. These patterns need to be recognized and called out into the light, because silence protects mistreaters. And speaking up,
Go ahead, Trina.
Well, first of all, I was very disappointed in finding out via social media because our family is closer than that. And to have someone else regurgitate that story to us. Well, or I can only speak for me. Right. But for someone else to tell me the story of something that happened to my own family is very disheartening. And as a family member, I would not have allowed that 911 call to happen the way that it did. And I think that as protectors of our family, as protectors of our sister, I think things would have gone differently had we known at the time that it happened.
How did the 911 call get out?
On social media.
Was it the boyfriend?
I'm sorry?
How did the tape get out? Was it the boyfriend that put it out there?
We have no idea how it came out. We just know, we know as much as you guys know, that I have to be honest. We don't know all the details of what transpired before that happened. We don't know what happened while the paramedics were there. We have no idea. We just know what you guys know. We know what we heard from the 911 call. As Trina stated, we heard everything on social media. Trina called me in the wee hours of the morning, and that's how I found out. And I looked on social media and was like, why is this everywhere? And we don't know about this. I just think that the protocol should be, you call the family members first, and then, and then allow it to leak out to the media.
Whose fault?
I wouldn't have done it that way.
Whose fault is that though? Is it network? Is it like, cause like
that's not network. That's not network wasn't there.
That's an inner person.
Right. Network wasn't there. The network wasn't there.
How would they know?
Exactly. Yeah, they found out the same way that we found out on social media.
So what do y'all think about David?
Oh, I don't. I have my own life. I don't think about David.
Who?
David.
Who? I'm Mariah Carey. Who?
The guy with the dreads.
Who?
My husband.
I said about you. Who?
My husband has dreads.
Well, moving on. Well, after the trailer of season 7 of Braxton Family Values was released, Tamar took to social media to voice her concerns about being used for a storyline. She posted, "I am no longer employed by WeTV, and they're still using my hurt and me to make a coin." What do you think about that? And is it fair for the network to cover that?
Well, I'm going to say this very blatantly and very honestly. During season 7 of Braxton Family Values, we do not talk about Tamar's physical or mental health. We talk about how it affected us, but we do not physically address Tamar's hurt, pain, or experience. We can't speak to that. Tamar has her own story to tell, and it's very important for Tamar to tell her story in her way whenever she decides to tell it. We in no way, shape, or form addressed how Tamar is doing or how Tamar is feeling. We only addressed how we felt, as we're doing now, how we felt when the situation happened, when it came to us. We have no horse in that race. All we want is for our sister to have peace and health and well-being, and of course our nephew Logan.
I would think it'd be normal to film your reaction because that's your sister and she's part of the show.
Exactly, our reaction, but we cannot speak for her.
It would be fake to not talk about your sister when something so tragic happens. Like, I think
that part.
That's, you know what I mean? Like, I think if you didn't react to it, people would say, "What the hell? They don't love their sister?"
I mean, it's damn if you do. It's damn if you do, and damn if you don't. If we didn't say anything, we're insensitive. And now that we are saying things, and we're only speaking on how it, like Trina said, how it affected us, how we were affected in the situation. Because medically speaking, like a lot of doctors will tell you, that it's important for the victim to understand how it impacted your family and your friends and your loved ones. It's important for them to see that, so maybe they can get themselves together a little quicker. I'm just saying that it's unfair, really, but we definitely touch on how we experienced it and how we felt when we found out about it, and I don't think anything was wrong with that.
Right about that, Tuan.
Tamar also insisted the footage from the show was staged, specifically referring to when you all found out about the attempt. What are your thoughts on that? I know sometimes you have to reenact things.
Staged? What was staged, though?
I think the reaction, like when y'all, the reaction to finding out about her.
Well, it was merely a question. That's the same question that you're asking us. It was a question that the producers asked us. Hey, how did you feel when this happened? How did you feel when you found out about it? So it's not really reenacting that. It's about expressing and answering the question of how we felt and what we experienced when we found out about it. It was just a question. It wasn't a reenactment. I don't look at it as a...
I think it's supremely unfair to attack us as a family, to continue to work and to get ostracized for it because we didn't have the same experience that she did. And it's unfair because we did not speak in any way, shape, or form about Tamar and her situation. We did not make that 911 call. We did not say anything to the media in regards to Tamar's situation. We did not openly say anything about what's happening with Tamar's situation, except for the fact that we love her and we're here for her and we're in her corner. And yet we are the ones who are being ostracized when we are not the ones who are putting things openly in the media. It's completely unfair. It's completely unfair and unwarranted.
Is it fair to say if the tape wasn't put out there by whoever put it out there, no one would even know anything because it could have been private, and then her privacy could have really been protected. She could have healed on her own without us even knowing about it to talk about it. Is that fair to say?
That part, yes.
Well, I think whoever did that, and if anyone could get to the bottom of that, I think that's the person, and that's none of my business. And I know people, oh, you're dragging, bringing Tamar's. Me and Tamar have squashed our little thing on the show. So I have no dog in this race either. You know what I mean? I just want to be clear about that because I know people, I don't want her to get upset or the people watching. I feel like the person who put that out there and so quickly, and on the tape, it was really weird him talking about the network. Who does that when their girlfriend's going through a crisis? I just don't understand. If my man was on the phone talking to 911 when I'm sick and you're talking about Bravo TV, I would be like, mother, what the fuck you? Hello, I'm not doing well. And if that tape gets out, that's the person who's responsible for putting her on.
That's right. It was not done by her family.
Well, I really hope that she's doing okay, and you guys keep that bond going because it's clear y'all love each other. Y'all have issues like every other family does.
Oh heck yeah.
We're gonna take a break, and we'll talk about taking a break from reality TV, if that's even possible. So